In Jiangxi, relentless floodwaters have engulfed vast regions, particularly around Poyang Lake, China's largest freshwater lake. Entire villages have become isolated, surrounded by water, resembling scattered islands in a murky sea. The rising waters have pressed against fragile embankments, exploiting weak points and causing breaches. This has forced residents to evacuate, with boats replacing cars as the primary mode of transport on flooded streets. The sight of once bustling roads now navigable only by watercraft underscores the severity of this natural disaster, leaving communities stranded and reshaping daily life. Low-lying neighborhoods have borne the worst of the flooding. Water has surged into courtyards and ground floors, seeping into homes and causing structural damage. Walls have cracked under the pressure, and floors have become unstable, rendering many houses uninhabitable. Families have been forced to abandon cherished belongings, with entire blocks falling silent, accessible only by rescue rafts or small fishing boats. The emotional toll of leaving behind homes and possessions highlights the human cost of this crisis, as residents face uncertainty about their future. The region's infrastructure has been severely compromised. Roads have vanished beneath turbulent, muddy waters, severing vital supply lines and isolating towns. Bridges, unable to withstand the relentless force of the floods, have either collapsed or been critically damaged. Landslides triggered by saturated slopes have further blocked key highways, exacerbating the isolation. Power infrastructure has also suffered, with poles and cables bending or snapping, plunging rural areas into darkness. This widespread disruption illustrates the fragility of human systems in the face of nature's power. The agricultural sector, a cornerstone of Jiangxi's economy, has been decimated. Rice paddies and vegetable fields, critical for local food security, now lie submerged under a blanket of brown water. Young seedlings yet to reach harvest are rotting in the flooded fields. Hundreds of thousands of hectares of farmland have been affected, with small barns and irrigation channels swept away. For farmers, this loss represents not just a season's yield, but an existential threat to their livelihoods, casting a shadow over their future. The floods in Jiangxi reveal the profound impact of natural disasters on both human communities and the environment. From isolated villages to destroyed homes, crippled infrastructure, and ruined crops, the crisis underscores the need for resilience and preparedness. As the region grapples with recovery, the story of Jiangxi serves as a sobering reminder of the challenges posed by extreme weather events in an increasingly unpredictable climate. The economic toll of the flooding is staggering, with businesses facing mounting losses every day. Along the riverbanks, warehouses and small workshops have been hit hard, their interiors swallowed by fast-rising waters. This kind of flooding doesn't just disrupt operations, it wipes out livelihoods. Small businesses, often operating on tight margins, are especially vulnerable. Machinery, critical for production, now sits buried under layers of silt and mud, corroding and likely unsalvageable without costly repairs. The rusting equipment is a ticking clock. Every day it sits in water, the more expensive it becomes to replace or restore. Local commerce has ground to a halt. Shops and bustling market streets, once alive with activity, are now closed, their inventories ruined by the deluge. Delivery trucks, vital for keeping supply chains moving, are stranded in flooded parking lots, unable to operate. This isn't just a local issue. It disrupts regional supply chains, delaying goods and driving up costs for everyone. For many businesses, restarting operations could take months, if not longer, as they navigate repairs, restocking, and financial recovery. The ripple effect here is huge. Small retailers might not have the capital to bounce back quickly, and some may never reopen. At the heart of this crisis is Poyang Lake, China's largest freshwater lake, which has become a force of destruction. Water levels in the lake have soared to dangerous heights, overwhelming its banks and pushing water into connected tributaries. This surge has even reversed the flow of nearby rivers, amplifying the flooding's reach. Poyang Lake's size and location make it a critical piece of China's ecosystem, but when it overflows, it's like a domino effect. The backward flow of rivers is particularly wild, its nature defying its own rules, and it shows just how extreme this disaster is. The lake's overflow has turned a vital resource into a devastating force, reshaping the region's landscape and economy. This kind of event forces us to rethink how we plan infrastructure around natural water systems, especially in a changing climate. The immense scale of the lake means that when heavy rains cause it to surge, vast stretches of land, once carefully reclaimed for farming or homes, are swallowed up. Entire neighborhoods that people thought were safe end up submerged, with water creeping into places where families once felt secure. It's a stark reminder of how nature can reclaim what we've borrowed from it, often faster than we expect. To manage the rising waters, officials resorted to a tough strategy, diverting the flood into designated zones. They opened up barriers to channel the water away from densely packed urban areas, letting it spill across rural fields instead. This approach is like a calculated sacrifice, saving cities by flooding farmland. It's a tough call, but when you've got millions of people at risk, it's often the only option. The controlled flooding stopped the lake from overwhelming everything, but it left villages and crops underwater, a deliberate trade-off that hit rural communities hard. Public infrastructure took a beating too. Schools, health clinics, and government offices were inundated, with murky water pooling inside up to waist height. Equipment like computers, medical supplies, and desks, completely wrecked. You can imagine the chaos. Places meant to serve the community suddenly becoming unusable, forcing people to scramble for alternatives. Sewage systems failed, spilling waste into flooded streets, while debris like broken furniture and trash drifted through the very administrative hubs meant to organize disaster response. It's almost ironic, centers built for relief becoming part of the problem. Utilities faced a nightmare of their own. Water treatment plants were swamped, and wells got contaminated, leaving people without clean water to drink. Tankers had to roll in to deliver safe water, but that's a slow fix for a desperate need. When you think about it, clean water is something most of us take for granted until it's gone. Power grids weren't spared either. Substations around the lake shorted out, triggering blackouts that rippled outward. Repair crews were deployed, but with waterlogged ground and relentless rain, every task took longer than it should. It's a brutal lesson in how interconnected our systems are. One failure cascades into another, and suddenly, entire communities are left in the dark, both literally and figuratively. The financial devastation is immense. Billions in damages pile up as destroyed crops, shattered homes, and shuttered businesses take their toll. This region has endured floods time and again, yet each new deluge feels more severe, more unpredictable. The latest disaster has spotlighted the dangers of settling on reclaimed land near Puang, where fertile fields come with the ever-present risk of catastrophe. This is a stark reminder of nature's power. Reclaimed land might offer agricultural promise, but it's often at the mercy of water's unpredictable force. The task ahead isn't just about rebuilding. It's about rebuilding smarter, with resilience in mind. Planning for stronger infrastructure and better flood defenses could make all the difference in the future. Thank you for tuning into Extreme Earthstrike 360, where we dive into the realities of nature's most dramatic events. We aim to keep you informed with clear, no-nonsense reporting. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more. Your engagement helps us keep delivering these stories. Click the bell icon to stay updated with straightforward, reliable reports. Stay aware, stay safe.